Hi, Latinas United, Republican Women Federated, Lodi, Republican Women Federated, and Stockton, Republican Women Federated. Just wanted to say hello. My name is Christian Morales, and I'm a candidate for governor of California. Just wanted to take a moment to wish everyone the best and a speedy recovery. I heard there were some members that fell ill, and first and foremost, I pray that everybody recovers and makes a speedy recovery and feels better real soon. So just wanted to make a quick video here since I was unfortunately obviously unable to attend your event, and given the circumstances, to introduce myself. Me llamo Christian Raúl Morales, and just wanted to say hi and talk a little bit about myself regarding my platform and why I ran for governor of California. But before that, and I apologize, my video is probably not optimally the best. I don't have the tool that I usually use. I'm using my hand here. So anyways, first of all, so I was born in a small country called Guatemala in Central America, and a little older than what I look, at least from what I've been told. And I immigrated here with my family in 1979 with my dad. Pursued first initially his master's, and then ultimately his PhD in genetics from Purdue University, which is a university in Indiana. So we came here in the late 70s, and during that time, it was a dangerous time for anybody that was educated to be in the country, in that region, because there was a civil war going on in Guatemala. So, and between the communists and the patriots of our country, and we had support from Israel, and we had support from President Reagan. So ultimately, I believe that freedom won over, and we didn't end up like a country like Nicaragua, for example. So when we lived in Indiana, it was tough early on, like any immigrant, and I'm sure anybody's family that has immigrated to this country, or even people that immigrated 100 years ago, they could probably tell stories about how the difficulties and then coming to a new country and adapting. So, but one of the reasons that separated me from everybody else, I believe, is my parents always valued education, first and foremost, being academics. My mom is probably one of the only 5 people in the country of Guatemala from the 1950s that would end up getting her master's degree. So that's a testament to my mom as a woman, in not just being a homemaker, not just being the foundation of our family, but more importantly, wanting to achieve more for herself and to better herself. And I never forget that. And that's why in this campaign, I've focused on visiting every Republican Women Federated organization in the state of California that will allow me to go talk to them, because I always have that in the back of my mind. I'm here because of my mom, really. Yes, my dad was the brains, but my mom really was my soul, and I value that more than anything. So a little bit about myself and why I decided to run for governor of California. So I decided to run. I worked for almost 20 years in manufacturing, and here most recently in the defense contracting space. We did a lot of military products for the Department of Defense, the NSA, etc. that required a certain level of security clearance. And the reason I mention this is a testament not just to my character, but how my parents brought us up. And I say brought us because I do have a brother and a sister as well. And we followed the process, and we're fortunate that we came here legally. And I won't get into the whole backstory, but we actually, after my dad completed his master's, we had to go back to Guatemala, and then we had to come back to the U.S. For his PhD, and then we had to leave the country again. And at every step of the process, if anything would have not been done correctly, we would not have achieved what we ultimately were able to achieve, which is actually, I should say, earn, which is our U.S. citizenship in 1999. 20 years, almost 20 years to the date after we arrived in the United States. And again, that's a testament to my parents. So why I'm running is, first, I feel a responsibility. I think I'm a unique individual, if I should say so myself, and I'll let you know why I feel that way. So first, my background. So 20 years of manufacturing is a long time, but manufacturing has seen better days. And if we learned anything from COVID, it's a weak point here in the United States, since we were so over-reliant on manufacturing from other countries to build our goods and our products. And we saw, for example, even something as simple as a face mask, an N95 mask, which was manufactured in China, how many people would have been able to otherwise perhaps been saved here in the US if we would have had an N95 masks more readily available throughout the pandemic, at least early on. So I'm running because the state of California has seen a mass exodus of manufacturing companies. 300 companies have relocated out of the state since Governor Newsom started his term in office in 2019. And a lot of people don't know this. And it just seems like it doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's really destroying not just the manufacturing industry here in California, but obviously the livelihoods of all the people that worked in these factories, myself included. It's really impacted also those local municipalities that rely on the tax revenues for those factories that once were there, and it's gone. And more importantly, even companies aren't even opting to even consider California anymore for business. So we have a dire situation regarding manufacturing, and I wanted to highlight it. I've created a video series called Labor Cleansing, hashtag Labor Cleansing, which I go to basically cities with old factories. I say old, but just recently relocated factories, and talk about the situation there and how the company is perhaps now flourishing once they've relocated to Texas, Tennessee, or a more business-friendly, less regulated state. So that's the first reason why I'm running for governor. The second reason I'm running for governor is I feel my story talks to a lot of people's story here in California. So I'm an immigrant, and a lot of people don't know this, but almost 30% of the state of California is foreign born, not even born in another state, foreign born. So I feel I connect, and I'm relatable, and I'm approachable in the sense that it doesn't matter what country you're from. I've had friends from just about around the world growing up on a college campus at Purdue University, and every one of my friends ended up becoming a U.S. citizen, and they all followed the process to become a U.S. citizen. So first and foremost, I want to respect the process of what it took to earn to be a U.S. citizen. It's not something that's just given. It's not a right. It's earned. And you have to wait your place in line and be respectful of all the people from around the world that came here looking for their own American dream. And I'm a big believer in that. I realize we have a specific situation here in California with the 2 million some undocumented people that need their own process of what we're going to do with those people. But at the same time, I understand why this situation with immigration is very toxic. And I believe somebody like myself, it's a little bit more level-headed, pragmatic, can actually talk to people that perhaps would never consider voting for a Republican, because I feel that I can talk to them because I myself am from that community. I'm Latino. I'm the only candidate that's running fully bilingual. I'm running a fully bilingual campaign in English y en Español, and I'll have a video here in Spanish too. I cannot talk Spanish to the Latinas United, Republican Women Federated, but I won't do it on this video. I'll follow up with another video. And finally, I mentioned a little bit briefly in my video earlier, relatability. So I worked in a factory. That's my bread and butter. And obviously the products that we built, were sensitive in terms of national security implications to the safety and well-guard of our troops and our overall safety as Americans. But more importantly, I'm a factory guy. So I feel when certain politicians run for office, maybe they're not viewed as approachable as others. And I feel I'm somebody that, even though I have that R next to my name, and people may have some preconceived notions regarding what that means, someone like myself can really reestablish the Californian Republican Party. Let's face it, we haven't been competitive in 16 years. It hasn't been close. It's not like we lost by a couple percentage points. We've lost by a considerable amount. And I feel someone like myself could be the face of the party, at the top of the ticket, that ultimately could help drive not just a win for the governor's race, but also all the down ballot races that are critical for us to win. If we pick somebody that's a little polarizing, and I'll leave that term a little open-ended because I'm not here to attack my opponents in this race, but I'll leave it up to you, the Republican Women Federated groups across the country, but more importantly, the people of California. If we pick somebody as an alternative to Governor Newsom that in any way is viewed extreme, we're not going to win. But if we select somebody like myself, that's pragmatic, level-headed, a business person, somebody that can relate to people, is an immigrant, is Latino, it's been, is part of 40% of the state is Latino. And a lot of people don't vote. And a lot of people don't feel like they've ever really been reached out by a Republican. And I feel someone like myself can check the box on all of those issues and really drive home the message to the Latinos in the state that, hey, it's okay to vote for a Republican. And actually, it may be beneficial to your family because, especially if you've been impacted by a job closure, my job is obviously the well-being of everyone in the state and success of everyone in this state. And I'll do everything in my power to obviously make sure that the business community feels confident in making investments in California, obviously supporting jobs here in California, which is what we ultimately need. And finally, I'll close with this. This race is personal to me because obviously I feel this issue with immigration is about to get very polarized. And I feel it's going to take a certain individual, someone like myself, that can really talk to it and talk to it in a manner as a Republican, because you know the attacks that are going to come down on us, trying to label us a certain way in terms of how we are and really how we're not. We're family oriented, we're God-fearing, and more importantly, we're compassionate. We really want just what's best for this country based on the Constitution. It's pretty simple, to be honest with you. And a lot of people just want freedom and liberty, and they just want to be left alone to be able to live their lives here in this country in peace. And that's the last thing we've had here, especially in the last couple of years with this current president. But I'm running a local race. I'm not trying to make this a referendum on national issues. Yes, I know national issues will ultimately be something that's discussed on the campaign trail, but I'm really focused just on the welfare and the betterment of the state of California. So thank you for allowing me to talk. I tried to minimize my talk time. Apologize if this goes a little long. And with that, I hope to see you soon, and God bless. Thanks. Bye.